Very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Sam Kalisa. And as we start off tonight, following the resignation of Dr. Iyamuremye Augustine from his role as the Senate President due to health reasons, the election for the successor is scheduled Monday, 9th January. Adam Squizera kicks us off tonight with this report.
It's almost a month ago, the plenary session of the Senate approved the resignation of the President of the Senate Chamber, Dr. Iyamuremye Augustine, who announced that he had resigned due to the health reasons. Since then, the Senate Chamber is under the Vice President of Senate, Honorable Nyirasafari Esperance. Since 2003, the Senate President were all from Social Democratic Party, PSD, except Bernard Makuza, who was identified to not belong to any party, as he was replaced by Dr. Naukwiria Jean Damascene, who later resigned. Currently, Dr. Vincent Biruta is the only President Senate who completed his term. It's the second time that the Chamber of Senate is going to elect the President of the Senate to complete the term of his successor after resignation, even though the reasons for their resignation are different. President Paul Kagame, on Friday, 6th January 2023, appointed Dr. Francois Xavier Kalinda as a senator in the Rwandan Senate. As they are heading the road to the election of the President of the Senate, who will replace Dr. Iyamuremye as stipulated by the law, it is expected that the election of the President of the Senate is scheduled to be held on 9th January 2023. The Senate of Rwanda has 26 members, including 12 elected by provincial councils, 8 appointed by the President of the Republic, 4 by the National Consultative Forum of Political Organization, and 2 elected by the staff of the public or private universities. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams, for the report. And as the East African community continues to push towards full integration, an EAC constitution is yet to be established. RBA spoke to the law expert Tom Mulisa on the matter, and this is what he had to say.
This is an issue that I've been researching about, especially looking at the relationship between the East African Treaty and national constitutions on one part, but also looking at the other phase, the envisaged phase of having a constitution for East Africa. There has been a draft that has been put in place, but it has been very slow to come out to adopt a constitution for East Africa because there's a political federation, there's the monetary union, there are steps that you have to arrive to the political federation and then a constitution. But there have been a draft that has been in place for the East African constitution. There is a possibility that the constitution may delay because this will have to depend on the political will of the member states, but also on the citizen participation of the member states of East Africa. There may be a delay to have a constitution for the East Africa community, or even to have a political federation as it is envisaged. However, for me, I just think that as the East African Court of Justice has pronounced itself on cases that affect individuals in member states, one still can argue that the treaty establishing the East African community has a supranational constitutional nature. I call it supranational constitution, not a national constitution, but supranational constitution. So there is the national constitution and there is the supra-constitution. Yeah. Supra-constitution, not meaning that it is a constitution higher than the national constitutions, but supra-constitution meaning that the treaty can only survive if it has got support of national courts and the supreme courts of national countries. So an argument could be made that the East African Treaty can be a supranational constitution for the member states, because still the member states national courts have to adhere to the treaty. But that is first of all, it can maybe be an analogous analogy by saying constitutions are higher instruments, and then the EAC treaty is also higher than national laws with the matters relating to the community. Integration issues don't happen at once. Integration issues are processes. So we have already got an East African Customs Management Act, which regulates the Customs Management Act for East Africa. We have got quite a number of protocols and instruments under the East African Treaty. So if we could move ahead to the political federation and also move ahead to having a constitution, this would be something good for East Africa. The constitution might be talking about the major lines or major issues: democracy, governance, and human rights, and then national constitutions could go ahead and detail how this should be done, but in conformity with the East African Constitution or the EAC Treaty. If we have an East African Constitution in place, we would expect some changes in most of the national constitutions and national laws, and perhaps, who knows, this may be part of the reason why the political federation and the Constitution of East Africa are not running fast as envisaged when the treaty was being made. Because in case you have a constitution for East Africa, then you need at least to have the major issues and concerns of each of the member states enshrined there. Then there would be issues of governance, issues of democracy, issues of citizen participation. So these are quite a number of issues. So having an East African constitution in place will mean that some countries' constitutions will have to be revised, some countries laws will have to be amended also. So I think that might be a threat to have to slowing down the East African Constitution as envisaged by the treaty.
Law expert Tom Mulisa breaking down all about the push for EAC integration. And moving ahead to other matters now, local software developers who sell their software abroad say that they have leveraged on the investment opportunities established by the government of Rwanda to improve their work. They urge their customers to trust these programs rather than buy or import the ones from abroad. Olim Nete has this report.
The Academic Bridge is an information management system made in Rwanda for schools and parents to easily monitor student performance and enhance better informed decisions. The program has been delivered to 250 schools in Rwanda and is currently being used in schools of Burundi, Kenya and Uganda. The Chief Technology Officer of Academic Bridge, Christian Ikuzwe, points out that they built the system reliably on the government investment.
At that time, you usually meet various investors. On that occasion, there was a big number of investors, and there were opportunities to find capital. There used to be competitions and winners would get prizes, or even during those competitions, you would network with various investors that attended who can be interested in your projects. In addition to that, residents were encouraged to use technology in various activities such as Irembo or even other services of Rwanda Revenue Authority, so that the residents can get used to technology.
Mugabonake Olivier is the founder and managing director of AD Finance, a leading provider of innovative IT solutions to the microfinance industry, currently operating in about 7 countries, including Rwanda. He says that what is currently needed is that these programs made in Rwanda would be more reliable and trusted.
What would be beneficial is that people will change their mindset and understand that various software that are locally made can also be made reliable and trusted. I'm not saying that Rwandan companies should be trusted just per pity, but people should understand that they're trustworthy. And if foreign people trust us and entrust us with their work, it is not because of particular relationship, but it is because we also have reliable and trusted solutions that are in use.
According to Dushime Christopher, the project manager of digital export in the Private Sector Federation ICT Chamber, they are preparing quality seals that will be provided to these programs in order to be trusted at the international market.
ahubwo twebwe nka industry nicyo twita industry self regulation.
We as an industry, we should do what we call industry self-regulation and establish something that says that if someone does a good software, there should be somebody who should verify it, its quality, and recommend it to other people as well. We have various local companies that can compete at the international market. That's why we are providing labels as a sign of recognizing quality software made locally so that they can even be trusted at the international market. That's why we are providing what we call trust seal or quality seal.
In 2022's Global Innovative Index, Rwanda was ranked 11th in Africa as a country that has put a lot of effort into technology. Roland Price, the country manager of the World Bank, points out that $200 million will be invested in the development of technology, which is expected to bring changes in the sector.
So we will have $200 million of impact. This is under implementation, and it aims to position Rwanda as a regional hub for digital innovation and entrepreneurship. It includes development of local entrepreneurial support organizations, early stage finance for startups, the development of advanced digital skills, digital literacy, and support towards the development of an innovation policy for the country, among other activities.
Rwanda aims to be a technology hub in the region and to build a knowledge-based economy. Currently, technology accounts 3% of the country's gross domestic product. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive. Moving ahead, Karongi District has announced that a 5-star boat hotel that has been under construction at Lake Kivu has been completed and will be operational in the beginning of this year, 2023. Adam Squizera.
It's a boat built in the shape of a house, which has more than 20 meters high and includes a 5-star hotel with 10 rooms, including 2 VIP rooms, a swimming pool, a kitchen, a bar, a restaurant and gym. The Vice Mayor in charge of Economic Affairs in Karongi District, Niragire Phil, noted that this project is expected to bring much interest, as well as its first phase will start to operate in January 2023.
Iriya hoteli y'ubwato irajya mu mazi iratangira gukoreshwa.
That boat hotel is going to start operating very soon, as we know that many people have been waiting for it. But there will be the second phase, which will be 2 times more to this one. But the big thing is that the boat, we have the school of boat engineering. So I want to assure you that this is a mega project in our district and country as well. It was a well-received news for those living, born, and the tourists of Karongi District, plus the tourism service providers. It's a boat hotel, which will attract many tourists who usually visit this district as well, who come to see its nature sceneries.
We are very happy because of this project. The boat will contribute to the increase of tourists, and here in Lake Kivu, there was only small boats. But this boat will be able to transport a big number of people. It's a boat which has a restaurant, a bar, and a large balcony, which will give a nice view of the Lake of Kivu.
Afrinest, the company which constructed this boat, explained that the aim of this project was to provide opportunities to the tourists to be able to visit these districts which are linked to the Lake of Kivu, as they also added that this boat was supposed to start operating in the end of the last year, 2022. The Vice Mayor in charge of Economic Affairs, Niragire Phil, also pointed out that this is a mega project which will continue to run. This is a long project which will continue to run. Apart from working in the Lake of Kivu, it will also start to operate outside the country and even in other lakes. But I really assure you that by the beginning of January, it will be operating. The construction of this boat started in 2019, and the construction activities were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This boat is expected to promote tourism and develop cross-border trade as well. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Some of the residents in Gicumbi district indicate that although everything is being done to develop the city, a special emphasis should be made in the development of infrastructure, particularly roads.
Although the city of Gicumbi district has not yet reached its full development, its inhabitants and those who visit it are content with the progress that has been made.
kugira ngo tugere Musanze.
We usually used to pass by Kigali to reach in Musanze, but we use this new constructed road to go to Musanze. This road from Rukomo to Musanze is well established. We travel safely.
Ubu tugenda neza cyane rwose nta kibazo.
Schools have been established, new roads, and I guess you noticed that business activities are also expanding. Development is speedy around here. However, some of these residents say that there is still much to be done in the city in order to increase movements of people, which can even assist in its further development.
We have buildings in this city, but they are not enough to use them for commercial purposes. It would be good if there could be additional universities and hotels.
In addition to this, the residents of this city also indicate that there should be an increase in infrastructure, such as water, as well as asphalt roads. The mayor of Gicumbi district, Emmanuel Nzabonimpa, notes that they are currently working on how to accelerate development of infrastructure in the city.
The water available for the city is still insufficient. It is necessary to increase its capacity. A water treatment plant is under construction in Rusumo and will make it possible to increase the capacity of water needed. There are also the roads promised by the President of the Republic. We are in the process of seeing the means available for this to be achieved. And as we get means, we will definitely start with that and the other roads as well. And as resources will be available, we will definitely start with the priority.
The mayor of this district also adds that by increasing investment, it will attract investors who will be the source of innovations to the city.
People usually thought that rich prefer to settle in Kigali city, but things are currently changing. We are looking to create opportunities to attract those who move to Kigali and the other investors to come invest and build various infrastructures.
Currently, Gicumbi district is at the rate of 86% in providing clean water to people, while providing electricity is at the rate of 56%. Olive Nete, RTV News.
And on behalf of the entire news, as well as the production team that made it happen, thank you for being with us on this edition of Rwanda Television News, and as well as the first week of the year 2023. And we wish you to stay safe and have a fruitful week ahead. Goodbye.